Philadelphia Uber drivers are striking next week. You're going to want to find out about this right now. I'm Tom Toole. She is Jess Lion. We are here on Toole Time this week talking about a couple interesting topics here and a pretty good quote. I'm actually excited to talk about this one. So let's get into it. Uber drivers are set to strike May 8th at noon in Philadelphia, as well as some other major cities, LA, DC, San Fran, Chicago, San Diego, Minneapolis, and they're going to turn off the app for 12 hours and stop working. What do you think about all this?
I think that the Uber drivers who choose not to turn off that app are going to be making money that day. So, and also May 8th is like a Wednesday. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Uber's always busy, but I don't know how big this is going to affect it. But they're doing it because they want better wages. They want health care and benefits and things like that. They want stricter terms in terms of tip share and things like that. So I kind of see where they're coming from. I read in the article that they make about like $8.55 an hour, which is over, the minimum wage in some places, not in like California, but at least over here. I think that the average and the minimum wage, I think that they're a little bit off. I think that the drivers that are driving a lot, they're making pretty good money. And I know this because I have very good, detailed conversations with a lot of my Uber drivers. So I don't think, too much is going to come of this, to be quite frank.
Yeah, so the reason they're striking on the 8th is that's when Uber's making its stock market debut. Yeah. So that's kind of why it's timed that way. But I hear you on a Wednesday. It might not be the busiest day. To me, what I've seen here with Uber as of late is the quality has really dropped. I mean, you get people like declining rides all the time. They say they'll pick you up in 10 minutes. The driver doesn't move. This stuff happens a lot.
What's your rating?
My rating, I think it's like 4.8 or something.
Maybe that's why.
My rating's fine. I don't see that being the issue. So, to me, this is more about the competition from Lyft because I did a little research, and the Lyft drivers versus the Uber drivers, right? Lyft takes a smaller cut of the ride, so Uber drivers make less based on the percentage of the ride. Lyft statistically has higher tips than Uber. Uber has a bigger signing bonus, but that only lasts so long, so over the life of a career. And Lyft also has better prime time pricing, so that attracts more of the riders. So recently, Lyft was offering like 50% off rides because they're both racing to the IPO. That's what's happening here. These are two companies that are competing very aggressively, trying to beat each other. The drivers that are protesting, they are looking for higher wages, a clear policy on wages, tips, fares, how they're shared, disciplinary action, benefits, and recognition and representation for drivers in the management structure, which I found pretty interesting. So it's going to, certainly the executives are going to do really well with the IPO. It's really about the drivers here, and this is what happens when you have a publicly traded company. I mean, things change a lot. So is this going to have a big effect on getting around these cities? I would say probably more so in some of the bigger markets, but I noticed one that was missing was New York, which is probably the biggest Uber market, so I found that kind of interesting. I also agree with you. The people there are going to be making a lot of money. If they don't turn off their phones, it's going to be a good day for Lyft.
Oh, yeah.
What I find, I mean, Uber's had some troubles as a company, right? They got rid of their CEO. They had to get a new one. It hasn't been going well, and really the drop-off to UberX, I mean, the quality of rides, this is based on surveys and consumer data, just hasn't been as strong as it used to be. So and that happens when you grow a company. I mean, you have to balance service with practicality and those sort of things. And a cheaper ride, I mean, you're getting picked up in a Honda Accord versus like a black car, it's going to be a very different thing. So I don't see it making a difference, to your point.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens as these two companies compete, because that's what this is really all about.
Lyft is going to have a come up, I guess.
Well, they see what's happening with Lyft, and when you're at a big company and you say, okay, I can maybe go work, and a lot of these guys work for both. I mean, they have both stickers in their window. So it might be some of the folks that are only Uber drivers. I don't know. Not going to have a big effect. I'm with you there. However, it'll be interesting to see what happens after the IPO and if the quality.
You think it's going to drop even more than it's at now?
I mean, I've had some frustration. I mean, the rides get canceled all the time. People, they're going to pick you up and they cancel after like 10 minutes. Well, I could have gotten somebody else. Like, that ticks me off.
That happened to me last night, actually. Coming home from the airport, said 6 minutes for 12 minutes. It was just a mess.
Well, it's the same thing I'm talking about. I mean, I've had to catch trains before, and I'm waiting for the guy to come, and he's like, oh, I picked up the ride, but I'm waiting for someone else. And I've been sitting there 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, that's not what we agreed to here. So I would like to see maybe a little better control on the drivers and how they accept rides too, because that stuff can kind of affect your rating. But on May 8th, I don't see that being a big deal. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this company moving forward, because they had some challenges.
Yeah.
But I'll still
watch out on May 8th.
I'll still use the rideshare app.
Yes.
I'm not going to stop doing that. So the second topic is about a lawsuit from Zillow to Compass. So they're suing Compass right now. And what happened was Zillow slammed them with a lawsuit back at about 10 days ago, where Compass hired 3 of their top tech staffers, and Zillow saying it's a violation of their non-competes. And the lawsuit also claims that Compass actively sought to obtain proprietary information from Zillow to avoid building its own tech. So is this lawsuit legit? Is it not? What does it mean for real estate, Jess?
I think it is legit, and I think that, both companies are kind of going towards the same thing, so I do think that they do compete. So I think that, in the future, this might be a bigger issue, and Compass is really, I think they are trying to compete with Zillow.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Compass, one of their spokespeople came out and said, you cannot break a non-compete by leaving to go to a company that doesn't compete with you.
Yeah.
So they don't view it that way.
Yeah.
And now, at the same time, Compass is trying to build this. I mean, they're literally spending billions of dollars on an end-to-end platform. They just bought Contactually for $50 million, which is a CRM for keeping in touch with their clients, if you don't know what that is. And Compass views itself as a tech company. They always say our tech is so great, even though I don't think it's much different than what other people have. So the statement they made versus what I know about the industry is definitely conflicting.
Yeah.
What I would say here is that this is going to be the bigger battle down the line in real estate. I mean, this is not just a one-off incident with this company, Compass, and Zillow, but there's really like 2 groups of companies that are in the space right now. There's all these tech companies, and by tech I mean like Realtor.com, Zillow, people that are having consumers go to their site and then they're selling the leads off to agents with, like, whether it's they're buying impressions, they're actually buying leads, whatever that is. And then there's companies like Remax, who we work for, Keller Williams, who has AI, which I still will not believe. Don't anyone send me a message that says they have AI, because it sounds like Siri for real estate. Compass, Berkshire Hathaway. There's a looming battle here happening with who's going to win: the tech companies that distribute the leads, or the traditional real estate brokerages that can go out and generate their own. That's the battle that's coming out here, and this is kind of the.
I think they're trying to become. I think that Keller, Compass, Remax are all going to kind of evolve into what Zillow kind of is.
Well, I mean, the Remax has that partnership with Redfin, right? Because the only thing Redfin has that's worth anything is their website.
Yeah.
You have these other companies that are trying to build their own platforms, AI, all this other stuff. And you got Zillow, who has everyone going to their site right now, and they're changing how people contact consumers. They're changing what their model's going to be. Realtor.com just bought OpCity. They're going to a referral model. So there's all these things happening right now.
Yeah.
And the bigger question is, I don't know that one company's going to win, but it's going to be like one side or the other.
It's going to evolve into what?
Yeah, and I mean, real estate's definitely changing. I mean, you look at what happened 10 years ago. I mean, people now, they just want to get into homes. Before, realtors were like the gatekeepers of the information, and the longer these brokerages feel like that's what their job is, they're going to lose. There's no question about it. So the suit, I would say, is legit, knowing what I know and kind of seeing where this is going. This is probably the first of a bunch of these things.
Who do you think's going to win it out?
Well, I mean, a lawsuit is, they're probably going to settle out of court.
In the long run.
So I don't know that answer. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on who makes the right decisions.
Yeah.
Who's going to value the consumer the most? Which way the consumer is going to prefer to do things? So that's where, that's why Zillow changed their Premier Agent platform, where they wanted to make sure people got a phone call, because only half the people that went to Zillow even got a call back from the agents that are spending money on the leads. They still weren't calling them. I mean, it's insane to me. So I don't know who's going to win. It's going to, but that's where this is going. I think that's the question
It'd
here.
be interesting to watch it play out.
So suit looks legit.
Yeah.
All right.
Lastly,
you have a Will Smith quote this week, so I'll let you read this one. I mean, this is all you, Jess.
you like this one, really?
I like the quote, but
Okay, so from Will Smith, he says, "Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like." What do you think?
so this is the classic, like, people living that, like, Instagram lifestyle where they're posting stuff and they're
Like fake jets,
I mean, it's just all kinds of nonsense. And there is an issue right now in the country that I see where people spend, they overspend, or they buy things they shouldn't, and they're not looking at, like, how much money am I saving? What's going in my retirement account? That stuff isn't sexy. It's not going to impress a lot of people, but that's what I value.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm pretty conservative that way. And I always think like everyone tries to look at, like, they have, like, these perfect lives on social media. And no one's life's perfect. Like, most people, their relationship's got a problem in it or something. Mm-hmm. Their kids are pissed off at them, right? They're out of shape, and they could be doing better at work. I mean, that's everyone's life, mine included. So I do see this happening a lot. And, I mean, we run into it in real estate all the time, where you meet with some of these people, and the amount of money owed on the home is jaw-dropping, and they've been in there like 15, 20 years. It's got to go somewhere. I mean, somebody's spent it on something. So, not enough people are saving enough money right now, period. And it's all about their appearance versus, like, what's healthy for their household.
Yes. I mean, to me, what are you trying to prove? I mean, that you live this type of lifestyle that another person lives, just for what? I mean, at the end, it's like I've said in previous episodes, you're not taking any of this money with you, but you need to make smart decisions with it to set your family up down the line instead of, I know plenty of people who have kind of just lived in the moment, spent the money that they had, and didn't save, like you're saying, save, put away for retirement. Their family down the line is in a hard financial decision. So you're putting up this front, you're not being authentic, just like he's saying, to impress people you don't like and do things that you really shouldn't be able to do. It's not worth it. Be smart about it. In the end, you'll be happier in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to interpret this quote. This is pretty straightforward.
I just love Will Smith. His Instagram page is he like has taken a turn. I don't know if he's really taken a turn, but he posts all this inspirational stuff. You should watch it.
Watch it. I mean, check out his page. I mean, or does he do, like, IGTV?
Yeah, like videos and stuff. It's
Okay.
really good.
I'll check it out.
Check it out.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back next week.
Bye.